Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code SPORTS365 to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code SPORTS365. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 18 and up, 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5. Why am I sitting down, you ask? They are working on the wall where the normal monitor is. So, I'm here now at my normal little spot in my little area. So don't be troubled. I did not become stricken with polio overnight. I am fine. I can walk. I can stand up, but I just can't be over there right now because it's loud and thumpy and there's no electricity. So that's also an important part of doing a podcast. If you're going to start a podcast, people say, what kind of camera do I need? What kind of thing I need? The first thing you need is electricity. After that, internet, and then you can start worrying about cameras. This is distracting. But we're brought to you by Flag and Anthem. Let's go to 5 teams with glaring issues. Numero 5, Auburn with their coaching. Ooh. All the way around. Look, Hugh Freeze is supposed to be this offensive mastermind. Clearly, he needs to make some adjustments to his scheme because outside of the game at Baylor early in the season, their offense has not really been that prolific, and it was maybe more Baylor's defense than Hugh Freeze's coaching. Earlier in the year, there was some kind of weird controversy about who calls the plays on what down and what input they have. It was very confusing. Whatever structure he's got going there, he needs to adapt to. And it's really not just structure, it's scheme. He's got Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman, 2 immensely talented wide receivers that he has picked up over this time that don't really contribute to the offense in the way that they should, especially when you've got a quarterback who's supposed to be a better thrower than the last one you had in Peyton Thorne with Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold hasn't developed much more than he was at Oklahoma last year, and Auburn might be asking themselves why Hugh Freeze is the coach before long. Number 4, Clemson, speed. This was very surprising to me because the one thing that Dabo Swinney always got was the skill players and speed. Now, this has nothing to do with the transfer portal. This maybe just has to do with some recruiting misses because they do not have the kind of playmakers at wide receiver and running back that they used to. Will Shipley was maybe the last one truly that they had that was an absolute, oh, hell, he's got the ball guy. They don't have those guys right now, and it might be just they've misevaluated or they've had some misses on the recruiting trail for whatever reason. But if Dabo Swinney wants Clemson to be what he used to have them being, he's got to get those guys. DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, T. Higgins, all superstars back there. Will Shipley, Travis Etienne, all of those guys played for Clemson and were all burners. They just don't have that anymore. Number 3, Kansas. Defense in general, but they've got to get better at stopping the run and closing out games in the fourth quarter. They had a lead late, gave Cincinnati the ball back. The Bearcats went down and scored. The same thing happened with Mizzou. They were leading Mizzou late in the game. Mizzou took over and won. They've got to be able to hold leads with that defense. Maybe they're not quite there talent-wise. They're certainly improved on both sides of the ball this year, but particularly on defense, they are lacking. Number 2, Baylor's defense. Now, Dave Aranda is not in the same situation that Hugh Freeze is in Auburn, but when you bring in a guy because of a certain acumen, Dave Aranda, one of the best defensive minds in the country. What is the defensive problem? Is it scheme or is it talent? Is it a little bit of both? I think it's probably talent, and maybe not even talent. They might have guys that are good, but they are lacking size along the front. The front 7 is built for speed, not for power, and they need a little bit more oomph up front. They're not rushing the passer. They're not stopping the run, and that's making them have to win games in shootouts, including teams who have abysmal offenses like Oklahoma State. Kansas State presents a ridiculous challenge for them this week in that Dylan Edwards is back, and they have a running quarterback in Avery Johnson who might have found his sea legs again. And number 1, LSU in the run game. Garrett Ross just stormed out of the room because he doesn't want to talk about it. In fact, I see him walking down the street and he punched a hobo. That wasn't right. That guy's choices are not your problem, Garrett, and don't take them out on that poor dude. He's going to take a dump on the lawn again. Great. Now we have to worry about that. But speaking of dump on the lawn, LSU's offensive line and run game. That's what it's been. It has not been good. And of all the things that you would think that LSU could keep consistently that have changed since Brian Kelly's gotten there, it's the run game. That was what LSU did for 30 years under 3 different coaches of Saban and Miles and Orgeron. They always had a couple of big running backs, a couple of burners, and they had big, gigantic, angry Cajuns on the line. I don't know where Brian Kelly has lost all this, because the recruiting area just around Baton Rouge and New Orleans, he could get 10 offensive linemen and 5 running backs without having to get on a plane. But for whatever reason, this is the biggest area of dirt, the biggest dearth on their schedule that they have. Their offense, the hammering and drilling is really driving me crazy, and you can hear it, and I know that. But this is insane that LSU doesn't have a run game. They can run outside and go guard, tackle, center, and then there'll be 3 guys that go, hey, boss, I'm a guard, I'm a tackle, I'm a center, I'll play all 3. Eat skinny odo. Let's go. That's just not happening at LSU right now. That's going to do it for us. We've got Andrew Valade's Sprinkles right after this.